guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. Well, here are the two teens who, remember, they planned a big M, okay, against a fellow classmate. We went through the video from the cop's vehicle last week, and we're going to go through their arrest, mostly Valdez's arrest, and them being walked out to the police cars. Then we're going to go through some the documents and drawings that have been released from law enforcement. And of course, there's all kinds of other court documents. So we'll see what we can get through today. So let's jump right into the video of Valdez and Lippert getting arrested at Lake Brantley High School. Here is the video of, well, mostly we're seeing Isabelle Valdez get arrested, and then we see Lois Lippert as they get to the hallway. But again, this is courtesy of WKMG 6 News.
Please, first name Isabelle, last name Quintana, Isabelle Quintana.
This is one that
Hey Brittany, do you know where Beth is?
No, I'm gonna go stand out here.
you guys need to turn it down more.
Sorry, no. Mine's already.
Isabelle? Yeah. You do me a favor, you gotta stand up, put your hands behind your back. Just gonna tighten these just a little bit, okay? Don't move. You start pushing your hands, they'll get real tight on you. Okay, so just leave your hands to You alright?
Yeah.
You need me to loosen it? Which one?
No, it's okay. It's just I gotta like stab in the back of the thing.
Okay. Alright. Just come on out this way.
I think we're going down.
Out this way?
Yeah,
Towards the...
because that way it gets
Okay.
you out to the.
Okay, so we're waiting for the other. We'll bring them, I'm just gonna bring them both at the same time. Okay.
Have they explained what's going on?
He's coming? Yeah, alright.
Have they explained to you? So unfortunately, you are under arrest. You're being charged with attempted first-degree murder. Okay? And that's premeditated. You're gonna be transported to the jail, and then you'll be able to get in contact with your parents there, okay? But we are gonna call your parents to let them know what's going on. Okay? All right.
She doesn't have a lot of emotional reaction when, I'm assuming that's a detective there in the yellow, when he tells her you're being charged with attempted first-degree murder. She just is like, okay. I mean, obviously there's something that's just not right in the brain there, you know?
Her stuff's evidence.
Okay, let's take. We're gonna head out this way.
Yeah, but we're just
Alright, just waiting for looking at the same time.
You gonna do the same time? Are they different cars or same car?
Same car. Okay. I'm just waiting for the other one to walk out from both.
Close the door. Get on the other side, close the door. Thank you.
I assume you need me to come with you.
What's that?
You need me to come with you.
I don't think so. We got the Danish to go stuck on. Yeah.
For a search or not?
Yes, please.
Okay. We gotta kiss her? Yeah.
Oh, that's a teacher. Teacher working. science building on building 6. Check on you real quick.
Alright, I'm gonna talk to Sandra at the sheriff's office. I know you've been searched a few times, had it down by the school. Because you're getting the back of this car, you have to search you again. Do you have anything hidden on you that may have been missed? No. Okay. If they find something that's hidden that we don't find, you will get an extra charge at the jail. So this is your time to come, okay?
To the bill?
4 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. Alright, which face work for me, please? Oh.
Oh, good.
Hey, once we at least get them in the car, we'll go back and get their bags.
Do you mean to stand by here with you while you guys grab the bags?
The church said it's evidence.
Oh, the bags are.
Oh, they're taking the bags as evidence? He said hers.
Bags are evidence.
Both of them?
You guys can go, yeah.
Okay. So they don't need their book bags.
All right, have a seat.
Hey, guys.
We'll do, salad.
Okay. Perfect. So about report wise, it's just
You're just doing transfer.
okay.
I'm 99% sure of this, let me talk to church. There's a narrative that's in it right now, but it's just the first contact
So I'll
narrative.
just tell them.
Do you got the Sally Port info? Like the website?
On my computer.
Yeah, can you start working on that?
Is that better?
And they're both in the report already.
All right.
What's her charge? The second one.
Yeah.
You gotta talk to church about that.
They are really lucky that their fellow students didn't see their little walk of shame outside the school. Although I'm sure some of them looked out the classroom windows and what have you, but I don't know, these two probably wouldn't care. So again, this is News 6, WKMG. They actually were the ones that really broke the news, I believe. So they are clickorlando.com if you're interested. They are one of our local news channels here in Central Florida. Again, this happened in January, the end of January. So it's just all coming to light recently as everything is coming out. Now, again, an anonymous tip came in that there was a student that went by the name Jimmy. Now, Jimmy is Isabelle. I have no idea why she calls herself Jimmy online, but, you know, who knows these days with kids, who is planning to kill another student named Redacted, okay? And that's what the report came out. Now, eventually, the investigators, they were able to identify the Jimmy as Isabelle Valdez. The report shows the two girls were pulled from their classes to speak with the law enforcement detectives. Valdez denied knowing anything about the tip. Well, of course she did. She thinks she's smart, but as we saw them in the police car, they're just not as smart as they think they are. I mean, they're 14 and 15. You know, when you're a kid, you think you know a lot, but you really don't. So the additional footage that was released this month, obviously we went through that. The first video showed them, in the back of the vehicle. So the video we just showed them Valdez getting arrested and then them being escorted out to the car. And then of course they're in the vehicle. So if you missed that, check out the previous video on that. I'm going to be creating a playlist for this specifically. Now, there is a whole bunch of documents that were released, so I'm going to go through the drawings, but News 6 has typed it out, so it's much easier to read than her handwriting. So this is the letter that Isabelle wrote to her parents that she was talking about in that video in the back of the police squad car. Dear Mama and Papa, I'm sorry for what I'm going to do. Hopefully you will find this paper. I want you guys to know that none of it is your fault or anyone else's in that matter. I chose to do this by myself, for myself and Adam Lanza. They told me that Adam would come back to speak with me if I did this for him. Adam Lanza wanted it. I think it's a fair and beautiful sense of devotion on my behalf. I love Adam Lanza. We're soulmates, just waiting to be reunited once more. I want you guys to know that you are the most perfect parents ever. I'm sorry I could not be a better child. I've known that there's been something wrong with me since I was a little kid. I just could never showed it, and I'm sorry. I was never really shy. I just hated people, and I was aware of how disgusting everyone is. Being forced to talk was torture. I pretended to be a socialite to make you guys happy because I love seeing you guys happy. It was one of the only things that made me happy. Over the years, I've just lost control over myself and my emotions. Whenever I told someone I hated you guys, it was a pure lie. I'm sorry for ever hurting you, and I deserve what's coming from me, as I am also disgusting, cruel, and useless. Yeah, obviously Isabelle's got some issues, okay? That does not excuse planning a murder and all this, okay? But she's got some real issues, that's for sure. And they went through the court documents, which we can go through that as well. Showed that Valdez was obsessed, we talked about that before, with the Sandy Hook shooter, Adam Lanza. I don't know what the obsession is. Sometimes we hear about these kids, these teens, whatever you want to call them, that want to do these horrible things on, on school property that they have studied, or they have an obsession for previous school shooters. I don't know what it is, but we see that with serial killers. I mean, look what happened with Brian Kohlberger. He was obsessed, with BTK, which of course BTK is like, who? So yeah, it's like, instead of, I guess, a celebrity, this criminal who murdered all these other innocent people, that becomes their like obsession. It was learned that the victim reminded Valdez of Adam Lanza, and she believed if she killed the victim, she would have a blood bond with Adam Lanza, which would resurrect him from the dead. That's according to one of the motions. Valdez also claimed that she planned to wait for the victim in the restroom, stab him in the stomach or cut his throat, leave flowers at the scene, and smoke a cigarette afterwards. Yeah, because that's really normal. It's really not normal for anyone, but especially a 15-year-old. I mean, yeah. Investigators, they also said that Lippert had drawn a number of sketches showing the victim dead on the floor next to Valdez, the victim hanging with a rope around his neck, and several sexually explicit depictions involving the victim. So we're going to go through those pictures. They have redacted them, so a lot of them obviously must be highly inappropriate, which sadly doesn't surprise me with these two. Ultimately, though, as we have learned, the two were, thankfully, they got that anonymous tip, so they were arrested back in January, on January 23rd at school. And each of them are facing charges of attempted first-degree murder, as well as possession of a weapon on school property. And then portions of Valdez and Lippert's conversation from the back of the patrol car was included in the motion. Remember, we went through this, but for those that need to be reminded of some of their conversation in the back between all their giggling and such, Valdez told Lippert that they could become one of the lesbian couples in jail. Lippert replied, "Yeah, you can be the butch." And then Valdez replied, "Hey, this is my blank, stay away." Valdez asked Lippert if she was trying to look good for her mugshot. Lippert replied, blank, and I'm going to get a mugshot. Valdez replied, well, yeah, we're going to jail. What do you think? Valdez told Lippert that she was going to use makeup this morning for her mugshot, but she could not find anything. And then Lippert replied, I'm glad I don't look too bad today. And then Valdez stated, I look horrible. Valdez said, well, it's over. Lippert replied, yeah, it's over. It doesn't matter if you look good or not. Valdez then replied, at least they will see me in the mugshot some way or another. Valdez stated, hey, we were supposed to spread our story around the TCC, true crime community. Yeah, so, yeah, there's a lot going on there. Valdez replied, I thought I would go to a psych ward. That's why I was so excited about everything. I would be so jolly going to jail. And Lippert replied, you were wording it like you were going to psych ward. Valdez said, I know. Then she stated, I should have told them the other blank, like they were asking her about the swatting incident. Valdez stated that she started crying, hoping law enforcement would feel bad and send her to the psych ward. So yeah, because they knew that they were going to get in trouble, but it's like Isabelle had no comprehension whatsoever that she was going to be, arrested. She thought, hey, they'll just think I'm crazy and have me committed. Yeah. In addition, prosecutors discussed a conversation on the social media platform Discord, in which Isabelle Valdez sent the following messages to Lois Lippert. It's going to be over by tomorrow. If you have some gloves, bring them for me, and bring latex ones. I'm bringing a trash bag, wipes, and some other things. I'm going to go away anyways. I have incriminating shit on the phone. Holy shit, I'm going to make blood ritual for Adam Lanza. LAMFO. Last Bluke for Saint Adam. Everyone who preyed on my downfall is getting their wash. I'm going to do it with redacted. I hugged my parents extra tight today. I feel kind of bad for what's coming. He was at fault because he never got redacted. Talk to me. If I had him, I wouldn't have been like this. Why? Redacted. Why? I need to break my hard drive later. Do you have an extra white shirt I could use? During the hearing last week, a judge ruled that there was too much of a danger to the community for the two girls to be released on bond. And as we know, they both entered not guilty pleas. And we're going to be seeing them in court in April for their individual cases. Yeah. So these two had no comprehension. I think that they knew, but I don't think that it was just they completely understood. So here is the actual, some of the documents, the drawings and such that WKMG was able to get a hold of. This is the letter that I just read, and then it also goes through some of these drawings here. So here are some of these drawings. These are all from Lois. They are so very strange. I mean, so I guess that's supposed to be the victim. Okay, that this other student, which thank goodness is okay, and that would be Isabelle. And then that's obviously her right here again, Valdez. You're so beautiful, like a porcelain doll. Okay. And they get worse, guys. They really do. Now, they redacted this whole portion right here, so I'm not really sure what that was. And let's see. And here's another drawing. Looks like that would be the victim. And this is probably one of the more worse ones here. The victim being hung. It's really sad because Lois Lippert, she seems to have a talent for drawing. But, I guess she's just going to be drawing stuff in jail. And this one says on the top, fake body. So this one looks like, I don't know, I guess she must have been pretty detailed because they have a huge black box over the rest of that. And then you go into here, Elliot Roger. Jeffrey Dahmer. So we can see how they are really into the serial killers as well. Artem, some very odd things for sure in her notebook. No, don't hold it in. Weed Chan. Make America high again. Okay. Again, some of this stuff is, you know, not understanding exactly what it is, but obviously it's all disturbing. So this again would be Isabelle Valdez and the victim. And I don't know if this is supposed to be the victim or someone else. I'm assuming that would be the victim as well, because that's the one they're blanking out the face, redacting the face. And yeah, clean up on aisle my pants. Oh. And I think this is where it starts to get into the bit of a graphic drawings. That one's harder to see. But these are all in her backpack in her notebook. Give me ideas, but no, you Lanza kid, I wanna draw girls. So I don't know, maybe Lois is a lesbian, who knows. So there's another stuff going on there. And there's looks like it's Valdez with a couple guys. I'm assuming maybe Adam Lanza and this poor other kid from their school. Take your hands off my neck and hold onto the ghost of my body. Yeah. It's not weird or anything. I want Chang or you used by. This looks like just random scratchings. Why don't you buy any? Get. See, I'm not really sure what all that says. And more drawings, and it looks like a character throwing up at a toilet. Classy. And some other stuff going on that's very, very redacted, so I assume that's a very explicit drawing. Looks like some more making out or something. I don't have official OC help and whatever that means. Highly redacted on the right here. This does not look like what the boys showed me. Alrighty then. So this is definitely, this particular drawings are very explicit, my guess is. And these are 14 and 15-year-olds, guys. And these almost look like South Park-ish kind of figures. Adam, I don't know, Adam Lambert or something like that, Lambert. So I'm not really sure. You have to... Don't know what some of this is all saying. It looks like this is a phone with some texts on it. Stop pulling, please. Financial obligation such as unpaid bills. Something far behind. And here are some writings from Lois's notebook. Do you think he actually switched out? I feel like she wouldn't have even put the ticket. Maybe he just skipping because I creeped him out. Most likely he is. This looks like it may have been a conversation between the two of them. I honestly think he's just skipping, but maybe he's in the process of getting something against you. I just had this thought. I hope he doesn't get restraining order. I doubt it. He doesn't even know my name either. Probably didn't even read it. Stop thinking he'll probably just avoid me because it wasn't that weird. But maybe he did notice all the other times you were following and filming him. Remember, they also were stalking this kid. No, he would have already told his mom. I've been doing it for like 2 weeks. Well, no, actually, he has. Probably most likely he turns around sometimes. Like staring at us? No, like when I get personal shots when I'm alone, he looks at me. Sometimes he's probably stared at us walking by through since me and William Loud. It was just like any other normal day. I swear nothing seemed off until I remembered him. Oh, blank, how much I loved you. Today was finally the day. You're so worth it. We were leaving second period. I grabbed him. I don't know what happened, but I just started talking. Oh, you're so beautiful. The cutest boy around. I loved him very dearly. I would ruin my life for him, and that is very much what I was doing. I was able to get my hands on some chloroform. I'm guessing that states. It knocked him out cold. It was absolutely perfect. I was already in the bathroom with him. He hadn't had woken up yet, so I was just waiting. He was so small, so precious. I had been waiting for this for a long time. Slowly he woke up. I saw those beautiful eyes I much adored. Finally up close, he was absolutely perfect on something. Hi, sweetheart. I said it without thinking. He looked extremely disturbed. I don't blame him. Who wouldn't? LOL. He didn't speak, just looked in terror. I pulled the knife out of my bag and held it to his throat. I saw the fear. I saw his breath hitch. It gave me some more adrenaline. I pulled my phone out and started recording him. Can you smile for the camera? I held the knife closer to his throat. I watched as he forced him to smile just for me. Yeah. First gym, second math. This looks like it's just like a scheduling up there. More drawings. Looks like there's a pro and cons list that was even made. And it looks like on the plus side is see my friends. Lucy, Gage, Man, Victoria, Isaiah get to stage man age. And I don't know, it doesn't look like there's anything really there. And then I guess that's it. Yeah. Odd for sure. So this is the online clerk website for Seminole County, Florida. And yes, they are minors, but, well, they've committed a felony and they're being charged as adults. So, yeah. Remember, their attorneys are trying to have a lot of this stuff blocked. But as of right now, there is still a lot available. So this is State of Florida versus Isabelle Valdez. So this is her file here on the clerk's website. And as you can see, there's all kinds of stuff in here. Let's see. Let's go back to the beginning. So this would be the information was filed here. And then this is when she was transferred from juvie. So let's see what this one is. And here is, this one looks like it's the information. So this is the first piece of information that was filed here with the clerk's website. So we can go through that. In the Circuit Court of the 18th Judicial Circuit for Seminole County, Florida. And it has State of Florida versus Isabelle Valdez. And there's her case number. And looks like this was a prior, probably because she went from juvie to adult court. Information. Count 1, attempted first-degree premeditated murder. Count 2, possession of a weapon on school property. And these are felony 1 and felony 2. In the name and by the authority of the State of Florida, William Shiner, State Attorney, through the undersigned designated Assistant State Attorney, charges that Count 1. In the County of Seminole, State of Florida, on January 22nd, 2026, Isabelle A. Valdez did attempt to commit a capital felony, to wit, first-degree premeditated murder, to unlawfully kill a human being, said attempted killing being perpetrated from a premeditated design to effect the death of the human being and toward the commission of said offense. Isabelle A. Valdez did attempt to kill redacted by stabbing or cutting redacted with a knife, contrary to section 777.041, 777.044b, and 782.041 and 1 Florida statutes. Count 2 in the county of Seminole, state of Florida, on January 22nd, 2026, Isabelle A. Valdez did willfully and knowingly possess a weapon on the property of any school, contrary to section 790.1152a, 790.1152b Florida statutes, and against the peace and dignity of the state of Florida. I hereby state under oath I am instituting the prosecution in good faith, and I certify I have received testimony under oath from the material witness or witnesses for the offense, signed by the designated assistant state attorney. And so there's all that. So again, that is all that information. Now, we're not going to go through this one because this one we'll have to do on a separate video because that's a 70-page document. But here is her transfer from juvenile. So let's look at that. So this is her transfer from juvie, filed on 2/3/2026 in the Circuit Court of the 18th Judicial Circuit in and for Seminole County, Florida. In the interest of Isabelle A. Valdez, a child. Order of transfer. This cause having come on be heard upon the state of Florida's notice to the court that an information has been filed in this case, and the court being fully advised in the premises is therefore ordered and adjudged that 1, this case be and is hereby transferred immediately to the Circuit Court of Seminole County, Florida, Adult Division. 2, the above named child shall be transferred from the secure detention and taken to the John E. Polk Correctional Facility, and bail is set in the sum of no bond. Done and ordered in Sanford, Seminole County, Florida, this Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Let's see. And this looks like the first corrected court minutes. Just looks like the deputy clerk, B. Pierce, court deputy, J. Dudley, child present for detention review hearing. The parent, her parents, I guess, were present for this detention hearing review. Her attorney at that time was S. Bryson, and state attorney is H. Haney present. And then Department of Juvenile Justice, J. Robinson present. So here are the charges again, because obviously it's going from juvie to adult court now. Homicide, other felony, commit act could cause death. Felony 1, possession of weapon, other weapon on school property, and that's a felony 3. And this is when they're listing that they were having that arraignment hearing for 2/9 at 8:30 a.m. And it looks like it says court action. So court action for all charges. The court finds probable cause. The court appoints the Office of Public Defender, Ray Landa, to represent the child. The child not returned to redacted. Mother advised her name is Jonette Valdez. Mother shall complete a designation of email form. Public defender shall speak with the attorney in the child's co-defendant's case with regards to setting a hearing. Child shall not access any social media, Discord app, or any social media communications. Child shall not have any access to the internet or a cell phone unless under the direct supervision of her parents. Child shall have no contact with redacted, or Lois Lippert. Court authorized the child to undergo an evaluation with Aspire while in secure detention. That may be a mental evaluation. Court advised the child will need a psychiatric evaluation. Well, that one is. To be completed by the Department of Juvenile Justice. And it says in the circuit court, minutes corrected to reflect the child shall undergo an evaluation with Aspire as well as a psychiatric evaluation to be completed by the Department of Juvenile Justice. So that was ordered on 1/27/2026. Let's see what else we got in here. And here's the actual order of transfer. The cause having come on and be heard at the state of Florida's notice to the court that an information has been filed in this case, and the court being fully advised in the premises, it is therefore ordered and adjudged that 1. This case is hereby transferred immediately to the Circuit Court of Seminole County, Florida Adult Division, and 2. The above named child shall be transferred from secure detention and taken to the John E. Polk Correctional Facility and bail is set in the sum of no bond. So, let's see what else. All right, here is the notice of victims' election of constitutional protections pursuant to Article 1, Section 16, Florida Constitution. Comes now the state of Florida by and through the undersigned Assistant State Attorney, and hereby informs all parties to this notice that the victim and or next of kin in this case, to wit, redacted as listed in the petition, has elected the constitutional protections recited in Article 1, Section 16 of the Florida Constitution, Marcy's Law. Any information or records provided by the state to counsel for the defendant or in filings with the clerk of court must be redacted of any information that could be used to locate or harass the victim or the victim's family, or which could disclose confidential or privileged information of the victim should it be further disseminated by anyone who received it from the state. Please govern yourself accordingly. And then there's the certificate of service. Yeah, this kid should not have to be publicly outed, unlike these two. And here's a notice of court action to Jonette Valdez, and that is her mother. Pursuant to Florida statutes, sections 95.56, 95.556, or 985.557, you are hereby notified your child, Isabelle A. Valdez, is being prosecuted as an adult in the Circuit Court of Seminole County, having been charged in this case with the offenses of attempted first-degree premeditated murder and possession of a weapon on school property. Yeah, I feel bad for mom and dad, even though you have to wonder, you do have questions as to, how well they knew their child. You do have to wonder that. And here's a notice to the Court of Direct Filing. The state of Florida, by and through the undersigned Assistant State Attorney, notices the court as follows. 1. The child in this case is accused of committing a violation of the criminal law or laws of the state, and in the judgment and discretion of the Office of the State Attorney, the public interest requires that adult sanctions be considered or imposed. 2. The Office of the State Attorney has filed pursuant to the Florida statutes, section 985.557, an information charging, and of course there's the 2 counts again, attempted first-degree premeditated murder, and the second count, possession of a weapon on school property, and certificate of service. Yeah, so I don't know about you guys, but the drawings especially, and even though they are redacted, we have those redactions on them, they're disturbing. I mean, it's coming from the minds of these 2 girls right here. Lois is the artist, and Isabelle is the one who, she came up with this whole thing, but, just because you're not the one who wanted to do the murder doesn't mean you're not charged in the same way. And also, she's the one who, I guess, gave her the knife. She helped sharpen the knife. So there's a lot going on between these 2 girls, and it's a sad thing that they pretty much have ruined their futures, at least for the immediate future that is anything out there. And I don't know. I mean, I have to ask you guys: do you think that the parents? Do you think that this is the parents' fault? I mean, I only bring that up because now we've even seen these school, the shooters, where they ask, they want to know if the parents allow their child to have this weapon. Should these parents should they know that their child is obsessed with school shooters and serial killers and wants to potentially murder another student at their school? I mean, should the parents know this? I think they should. You know, and even though, you know, part of you wants to think, well, at least part of me wants to think, well, you know, they could be working so many hours, but, you know, you gotta know your kids. You really do. You gotta know your children. And, you know, I know that Isabelle, only because she's the one talking in the car, we got to learn that she has a brother and a younger sibling. So she is at least one of three kids. I don't know about Lois. You know, her parents obviously, even if they knew something was going on, they didn't take it seriously enough, it doesn't seem. And I don't know about Lois Lippert. We'll have to look more into her as well. But we'll have to go through more of those documents on the next video. But let me know your guys' thoughts, obviously, on this, the whole, her letter, Isabelle's letter to her mom and dad, the drawings that Lois, you know, all of Lois's drawings and their scribblings there, and the fact about these parents. I am curious, you know, what you guys think. But that's it for this one. Again, there's a lot more to cover, and we will continue to cover the court documents. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.